In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys what it's like to rent a car in Australia. So I was in Australia for about 3 weeks in total, and every single day I had a rental car, and this was my very first time renting a car everywhere. So I was very nervous going into it. I was like, I don't know what to expect and stuff like that, but honestly the whole process was not that bad. So in this video, I'm going to tell you guys the cost, how you pick up the car, how you drop off the car, what the car is like, and everything you need to know basically on renting a car in Australia. So if you ever wondered what it's like to rent a car in Australia or any other major country really, this is the video for you. So sit back and relax and enjoy the video. Also, if you're wondering where I am, I'm at a park, and I was actually going to face this way, but the lighting was not good, that's why I'm facing like that. But yeah, this is an amazing park. I just went for a walk and I found this place. I'm like, oh, this seems like a good place to make a video. Okay, so to give a little bit of context about why I was in Australia, so I went there to attend my brother's graduation. He graduated from University of Wollongong, which is about an hour and a half away from Sydney, and I currently live in Canada. So every time someone asks me about traveling in Canada, I always say rent a car, because otherwise it's going to be so hard for you to explore the country. And as you know, Australia is a massive country just like Canada, so I was like, I must get a car. However, there's a really good railway system in Australia. Like there's a central station in downtown Sydney which is amazing. Like it's almost like an airport, and I heard it's a really good railway system and a public transportation system in Australia. But you know, I just wanted to rent a car, and that's why I rented a car, and that allowed us to do road trips from Wollongong to Sydney, Sydney to Melbourne, which is like an 11-hour road trip, and just everywhere in between. Like we traveled a lot within Wollongong, within Sydney, within Melbourne. We also got to go to Canberra while we were going to road trip from Sydney to Melbourne, which is probably the best city throughout all Australia. I know it's a hot take, but my advice for you would be, if you're ever going to travel and when you do the itinerary and you realize like everywhere you want to go is so far apart, it's ideally better to rent a car, unless you go to like Europe where the public transportation is top tier. But somewhere like Australia, Canada, the States, where everything is so far apart, and to go from one place to another is going to take you like 3-hour driving, it's better to rent a car. Okay, so now let me tell you about the full getting the rental car experience. So about 3 weeks prior to departure, I went on Google and it was like rental cars in Australia. So when you Google that, there's going to be so many companies, and every time you click, there's like so many different cars and services they provide. Since we were going as a family of 4, I realized that we need to find a car that is kind of a compact car. We don't want get a minivan or something, because there's only 4 of us. But at the same time, I knew that there's going to be so much luggage that we need to go. So the trunk capacity, or the general capacity of the car needs to be pretty big. So initially, actually, I picked the smallest, cheapest cars I can find, because Australia is not a cheap country. It's so freaking expensive. So I was like, I gotta cut down the expenses. Okay, but before I continue, let me tell you about what website I picked, or what company I picked. So I was going through all the cars, and I was putting the days that I'm traveling, and then I was like kind of comparing each car, and what I found was the company called Bargain Car Rentals was the cheapest one I could find. I also, one extra tip when you're buying a car, renting a car, is that you gotta see is the picking up location of the rental car, is that in the airport itself, or do you have to travel further away? And if you do have to travel further away, is there going to be like rental shuttle pickup service the company is providing? Because sometimes, especially when you land from the airport and just pick a rental car from the airport, like those kiosks of rental cars, the car is parked inside the public car park, and you just need to go through there and then pick up the car and good to go. Whereas because since I picked the cheapest one, I had to go outside to pick the car, and because of that, I wanted to make sure Bargain Car Rentals would give us drop off and pick up location from the airport to the company, so we can go easily pick up the car. So Bargain Car Rentals is the car we picked up, and then again I went to their website and I filtered for the cheapest, and the cheapest car was like an MG3, which, if you don't know what that is like basically a very tiny car. And then actually my dad was like, okay, the car is fine, but then again, it's so cheap, it's so tiny, not cheap, so it's so tiny that how are you gonna put out luggage? Like it's gonna be a struggle. And then I was like, oh, you're right, like I didn't think of that. So I had to canceled my initial appointment or booking, and then I actually upgraded to the second one with a little bit more space, so then I can, there's some more space at the back where we can put all our luggage in. Now let me tell you the full experience of us getting the car. So we landed as a family at the international airport of Sydney, which is a huge airport, by the way. Oh my god, so nice. So we landed there, and in the instructions we were told that, okay, go to the bus pickup, like shuttle pickup location, and they will come to you. Also, by the way, look at this place. Wow, so nice. Calgary is amazing. I love this city. So yeah, we texted the car, we texted to the number, and then we walked to the shuttle pickup location, which is not that far. It's probably like 100-200 meters from the main exit out of the airport, so it was not that far. And then you also get those trolley bags at the airport, so we didn't have to like drag all our luggage. And we waited there until the shuttle bus came. The part where it sucked is that you gotta wait for a little bit of time. I think we waited probably there for like 30 minutes, which kind of sucks, because like you just landed in this country and like you see everything, you're like, oh my god, I would just want to go and explore, but you can't because you gotta wait. So yeah, after like 30 minutes the bus would came, and then we put all our luggage in, and the driver just took us straight to the car rental company. I think if I were to guess, when you were to get picked up, if you had any other families or any other people, then they would probably pick everyone together. So then again, if you have so much luggage, it's going to be a little bit hard to find area or find capacity inside the car. But in our case, they didn't have anyone, so it was so easy. And then the driver took us straight to the company, and then they just had to double check all my information. They checked my international driving permit, the IDP. Make sure you have IDP, especially if you're traveling, just because it makes it a little bit more easier. And then they just checked all the paperwork, which didn't take too much long. And then after that, they just hand us the keys, and yeah, it was for us to go and get it. Yeah, that was basically the whole rental car picking up experience. It was not intimidating at all. It's basically just landing at the airport, going to shuttle pickup service, and then they would take us to the company to sign in the paper, and boom, they just give you the car. And now let's go back in time to Australia, where I talk about the car I had and the general experience of the car, and do like a mini review of the car I had. So yeah, let's go back to Australia. I am just about to hand off the keys to the car rental company, so I'm literally like hours away from it, and I've been driving this car for about 10 days now. So here's my final review of this car, and maybe whether you should rent it or even buy it. So this is a 2023 MG ZS, and I'm from Canada, so I don't know much about MG, basically barely anything at all, because MG, we don't get that to Canada. But MG was originally from Britain, but now it's manufactured and probably owned by Chinese companies, so you could say this is a Chinese car. So when I got this car from the rental company, I was pretty interested to see, and maybe intrigued to see like what a Chinese car is like, because I never driven one. And honestly, this thing has surprised me so much that I wasn't thinking, I never expected something like this. This car, we've been driving for about 6,000 kilometers. We've been driving to, I came to Sydney, I picked up the car from Sydney, and right now I'm in Wollongong, which is like hour and a half away from Sydney, and we've been driving to Melbourne and back. That is about 900 kilometers one way, 2 times. We've been driving a lot inside Melbourne, inside Sydney, inside Wollongong. So in about 10 days, again, we've been racked up about 6,000 kilometers. And at that time, there has been zero issues, no tire issues, no brake issues, no engine issues, no transmission is nothing, zero issues. But also when I got this car, it only has about 85,000 kilometers, which means like brand spanking new. So yeah, shout out to Bargain Car Rental. They hooked us up, our family of 4, with a really good car, almost a brand new car. So maybe that's why there wasn't any issues. But again, I can only judge from what I got. But from what I got, this thing is amazing. I'll quickly jump inside the interior as well to show you guys. The interior has some perforated leather seats, which I was kind of surprised about. But jumping inside, this thing has wired CarPlay, so when you're doing road trips, long road trips, it comes in very handy. But the car rental company did not provide us with a wire, so we had to buy something, like buy a USB to C, I guess, something like that, to power up the wired CarPlay. So yeah, make sure if you're renting something like this, make sure you have that, otherwise you have to spend something. But yeah, yeah, this is a 7-speed DCT transmission. Again, transmission is amazing. I have one problem which I'll tell you in a minute. But yeah, transmission is very good. And it also has a sport mode. And I tried the sport mode with my brother, and it's quite fun-ish. Like when you put a sport mode, the engine just revs up so high and you have like barely any power, but the sound of the engine kind of makes it fun. So yeah, it has a sport mode, and other than that, it's a pretty nice interior, I would say. And there's almost zero wear and tear. Like I was surprised to see how much in great condition this car, especially for rental. And if I were to jump to the back seat, there's quite a lot of space as well. And again, since we are a family of 4, we were actually gonna get the MG3, which is a very small car. And I was like, well, my dad was like, since we have a lot of luggage, we might need to upgrade to something like this. So like cargo space is something we really cared about, and this thing has a lot of cargo space. We have had about like this whole thing filled with luggage, and if you need more, you can also fold down the rear seats and make it super flat, and you can carry basically anything, so which is very handy. And yeah, I would say if you are for your family, like if you are traveling with 4 or more people, you make sure get something like this. If you get something smaller than this, you're gonna struggle, trust me. Everything I said so far about this car seems positive, but the only negative I have about this car is under here, the engine. I've been driving this car for about 10 days, as I said, and I believe this car has about a 1.5 liter turbo engine. And oh my god, in my personal experience, that thing does not belong to this car, especially to this transmission. The transmission, excellent. The engine, not so much. It's super peaky. Like when you're on a traffic light, it's almost impossible to leave the traffic light, like take off from the traffic light smoothly. Like the moment you touch the gas, the engine just peaks. The engine revs so high, so the passengers are kind of uncomfortable because they think you are driving so fast, but in reality you are like driving 10 kilometers per hour, but the engine is like almost 4,000 rpm. So I feel like the engine doesn't belong, and it's being a turbo, it's almost impossible to like make it smoother out, because you know the turbo lag and everything, the power comes a bit later. But the good thing about that car is, like when you're on long road trips, to drive this car on a highway is very easy, because once you get to highway speeds, this thing is so nice to drive. But yeah, I feel like if you were to buy something like this, probably not rent, but if you were to buy something like this and keep it for your family, make sure you test drive and make sure the engine you pick match the transmission, because that's how the transmission is very good. So yeah, for renting, maybe you don't really care much, but if you're buying this, make sure, trust me, to test drive it and make sure the engine is really good. But I feel like if you can find a really good engine that matches and complements the transmission, you got yourself a really good car for under about $30,000 here in Australia. So, and when I was driving this car for like Sydney, Melbourne, I see this car a lot. Like a lot of people here drive this car. That means they love this car, and I can testify to myself how good of a car this is, especially for rental. Amazing rental. I was almost like a 8.5 out of 10 rental. This is my first rental, so I'm super surprised. But yeah, if you were to buy this, I would say test drive it, make sure you enjoy the engine. As long as you can do that, I think you got yourself a really good car. Okay, so now let's talk about the dropping off experience. It's literally a carbon copy of the pickup location. So in the invoice, it tells you about, okay, this is the time to drop off the car. So when that time comes, before the time allows, like say, for example, if the drop off is 11 a.m., you just need to go there before 11 a.m. Otherwise, they can charge you a late drop off fee. So what we did was, ours is like 11 a.m. so we made sure we are there by like 10:30. And then the other important thing is you need to make sure it has a full tank of gas. Usually most of the rental car companies, they usually have some kind of like a gas station nearby, so you don't have to worry about it too much. So what we did was we went there and got gas. All right, just arrived here in Sydney, and now I'm at the gas station, because with rental cars you gotta fill up the car fully before you return, and the rental car is right over there. It's over there. So I'm just getting gas, make sure it's full tank, and then gonna return the keys. One thing about Australia is that you first pay gas and then you go inside here and pay. You can't even pay at the pump. Like there's no tap in or anything, you just have to go inside, which yeah, it is interesting. And once your car has a full tank of gas, you just basically go inside and give you the keys. Usually a technician would come out and do like a quick walk around with the car just to make sure there's no scratches, and they ask you a couple of questions like were there any damages or anything like that, and you just need to be very upfront about it, because otherwise when they do like an inspection of the car and if they find any damages, they can ask for a lot of money. So this is where getting a full insurance coverage is extremely important. I make sure I got a full insurance coverage. I don't even have a full insurance coverage in my own car in Canada, but I made sure I have one when I was in Australia, just because to have that peace of mind. And after that, they ask you, do you need a shuttle service to somewhere else? And we were like, yeah, just drop us off back at the airport. So they did that. We just got on the same shuttle, went back to the airport. I think you can pick another location. I don't know, you have to talk with that. Could be different from each rental car company, but for us, we went back to the airport, because after that we planned to go to the Sydney Opera House, and that was a really nice experience. We also ordered an Uber Black, which is kind of like the nicer Uber cars, and I think we got a Mercedes EQC or EQV, which was super nice. And then we spent some time in the Sydney Opera House. But yeah, overall, that is basically the drop-off experience, literally the same as pickup. The main important thing you need to worry about drop-off is to have a full tank of gas and be very upfront about with any damages of the car. And the last thing I'm going to talk to you about is the cost. So for about 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks, I can't really remember the exact days, we spent around $650 just for the rental car. This does not include fuel or any other miscellaneous expenses. When you rent a car, this is just the rental car price, which I don't know, it is okay. I don't think it's a really good deal, but then again, I think if we were to do the same amount of experiences or the same amount of things that we use the car to do, but use Ubers or any other travel rideshare experiences like that, I think we would spend a lot more than $650. So I think it was a good deal. And the most important thing is my family and I, we were very happy, because we didn't have to, there was not any time throughout the whole trip where we were like, okay, we can't do this just because we don't have a method of transportation. We always had the car. It was already there. We made sure the car doesn't have any mileage restrictions, so we can drive the car as much as we want. And we also had a full insurance, as I said. So I think for $650 for almost 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks with a family of 4, having a good time and not feel restricted, I think is pretty worth it. So yeah, that's how much we spent for that MG ZS. Let me know what you guys do. Do you guys think I got a good deal, bad deal? Let me know, because this is my very first time renting a car, so I don't know. But yeah, that's it from me in this video. I hope you guys had a good idea about renting a car and the whole experience. If you have any questions about renting a car, please let me know in the comment section below. I'll make sure to reply to every single comment I have. But other than that, that's it from me with this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun stuff, and until then, I'll catch you guys very soon. Peace.